pleaded guilty in 2010 to racketeering in connection with a scheme known as Kids for Cash. He would sentence juvenile offenders to serve time in detention centers where he had a business stake and then received millions of dollars in kickbacks. The White House says he now has a second chance. The more than 2,300 kids who were sentenced, though, don't have that second chance. Fox News legal editor Carrier Bond here with her thoughts. This is creating a lot of outrage.
It is. And when you make money off of sending juveniles to a for-profit prison so that you can profit in return, that's pretty bad. And on top of that, I think what makes it even worse is that he used his discretionary funding at the time to cut funding for the public jail facility for juveniles, instead sending them to this for-profit place where he in return would get money from the people who were running it. And as we know, there was a person, at least one, who killed themselves over it, outraged parents. And the fact that he was included in these sweeping commutations, I think, is causing a lot of great angst, and people are understandably upset in northeastern Pennsylvania right now.
To the 2 points you just made there, this is what Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, said about it. He's very critical of President Biden, saying, quote, "I do feel strongly that President Biden got it absolutely wrong and created a lot of pain here in northeastern Pennsylvania. This was not only a black eye on the community, the Kids for Cash scandal, but it also affected families in really deep and profound and sad ways. As you pointed out, he says, some children took their lives because of this. Families were torn apart." When you've got a devout Democrat like the governor of Pennsylvania ripping you for this, it looks like this was a fundamentally bad decision.
Well, I think Democrats are getting fed up with Joe Biden over the pardons and the commutations. You know, he, with first saying he wasn't going to pardon Hunter Biden, then he did, and now with these commutations, it certainly puts Governor Josh Shapiro in a bad position. But I think, in addition to the facts of this particular situation as to why people are upset, you know, people put a great deal of trust in judges. Judges are ministers of justice, and if they have that authorization, that authority, without the morality attached to it, it not only destroys the defendants, it destroys, it creates massive distrust in the system. It wrecks people's lives because they have to depend on judges to do the right thing, to make sure that everyone is getting fair treatment. So
not lying in their pockets.
Yeah, and so to make money off of children by sending them to a for-profit jail is just beyond the pale. And Josh Shapiro said that he thought the 17-year sentence that this judge was given at the time in 2011 was too light, and that he should remain behind bars for a long time. But as we know, that's now not the case, thanks to President Joe Biden.
Now it's been cut to nothing. One of the young people who took their lives was Edward Konzakowski. He died by suicide, I think, after being released from the juvenile detention facility. But the mother of Edward Konzakowski said this about the judge's commutation, quote, "I am shocked and I am hurt," said Sandy Fonzo. "Conahan's actions destroyed families, including mine, and my son's death is a tragic reminder of the consequences of his abuse of power. This pardon feels like an injustice for all of us who still suffer." It was an absolute slap in the face to these families.
It is, and I wonder why. Now, I think the government here, or the White House, would say, well, we apply this to everybody who is still in home confinement due to COVID. But, you know, you have to wonder if there's a different kind of relationship, or as someone asked Joe Biden for a favor with respect to this judge. There's always more than meets the eye in these things. Typically, pardons are always controversial. Commutations are typically controversial. It is the president's prerogative. But this one, because it involves juveniles and it involves a judge who grossly abused his power, it's different. It hits different.
And there's almost 1,500 pardons and commutations, so that's a long list to go through. There's probably some other Easter eggs in there as well.
And look, at the same time, politically speaking, this is in some ways a gift to Donald Trump. I mean, he has a clear pathway to pardoning, I think, January 6ers, even exploring possibly a preemptive self-pardon for himself if he thinks that's necessary.
I don't think it's not necessary.
Well, I mean, I don't know what he's thinking, but I'm just saying that if he wanted to at this point, I don't think people can complain, given that everything that Joe Biden is doing right now.
I think the party might be looking for is from Kathy Hochul.
Well, we have to keep an eye on that, because last year she did that around December 22nd, so we'll see what she does this year.
Have a great weekend, Karen.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Sandra?
All right, John.